device around the world we go, but the defuse is...
Place there, Simple just jumping casually into the side. He's going to fall down.
And he's going to hit the ground there as Cole. Oh!
But they earned their place here.
It really took me by surprise. I must say it did. I would have picked Astana. I would have picked Very Games way before FNATIC, especially with adding Pronax so early on. I really didn't see it coming. But well, I think we are live with the match. We start off with Freiburg walking into a pistol shot from JW, and NIP are already 2 members down. So what a start from FNATIC already. Get right, trying to see if he can get a kill up here on short. But well, he's not really finding it, and they're low on health as well. FNATIC are doing a fantastic job early on here.
Very good start for FNATIC to this pistol round.
Let's see how this goes. 3-on-5 situation. There's still more than a minute left. But NIP, I mean, they got Fiflaren Exist and Get Right left. They lost their best pistol player in Forest, and that in itself has to be a little bit devastating. They are going to go for the short push here. Flusher is still back, one of the players that has really surprised us throughout this tournament. He's been playing fantastically, and now he's going to be put to the test once again. He tries to get the shot. He's calling for the backup, and NIP are coming. They're still down. They're 2 men down, 3 men down, trying to get the kill, and Flusher picks up one, and it's going to be just Fiflaren left. Oh, that would have been a knife then. They could have gone for that knife. I'm not joking. Knifing NIP the first round, would that have made a difference?
I'm not sure if it would have made a difference in how they feel, but it would have made a difference on their bank accounts. You get more money for knifing in CSGO, much more money. So it would have actually made sense if Pronax just let his teammate get that knife kill at the end, because Fiflaren was trying to plant and he wouldn't have had time.
So in terms of starts, in a grand final like this, on Dust 2, you clean up NIP flawlessly. They get no kills on you. That has to feel a little bit good, and now they're going to go for the aim on Rush. Here gets shut down. Oh no! 2 kills coming in for NIP, and now Devilwalk is in an awkward position. They can and they will rush him down back. It's not going to be fast enough, I think. Gets 1 kill. NIP is going down. That might be a mistake. He's going to go down. Oh, no, they get the round home. How did FNATIC let that happen?
I think FNATIC just weren't ready at all for that NIP push. I mean, they purchased everything they could. They had P250s, they had flashes, they had armors. They rushed out long with very good spawns, and FNATIC just didn't get there fast enough, and they couldn't pre-nade it, they didn't flash it, and they just weren't prepared for it.
That was very unfortunate because they actually had the manpower there. They had 3 people down on long, so it looked like maybe they were prepared, but maybe they were just getting caught setting up. I mean, as you said, no flashes. They weren't expecting that kind of firepower, and now NIP bring it right back. FNATIC, they counter with another armor buy coming out here, so they're just probably pretending that they lost the pistol round and go from here.
Yeah, exactly. Although it might actually be even more devastating mentally to lose the second round than it is to lose the pistol round. Because that always makes you feel like you gave it away.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely imagine that. Well, we'll have to see. It's still early days here in this grand final, a best of 3 as well. We just heard Thorin talking about what an advantage it is for NIP to have sort of, a lot of experience being on the stage here. But I don't know. I mean, I think there's a good chance FNATIC could win this game.
I actually think so too. I originally thought exactly as Thorin did, and I said that on podcast earlier today. I thought NIP would just smack anybody who came from the other side of the bracket. Like, no chance at all. Talking to Snyder in an interview I did with him for HLTV about an hour ago, I actually started feeling like FNATIC could have a chance. Then I looked at the maps when I did my preview on HLTV, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, okay, Train favors NIP, but JW is very good on Train.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Dust 2 and Inferno are not bad maps for FNATIC.
No, they're not.
And Pronax has proven to be a very good leader, and he could actually outmatch Exist in that department. And then I looked at the stats, which are also available in HLTV, and it just seems like FNATIC players are even playing hotter this tournament. So although NIP is the more competent team and the better team so far, FNATIC actually do have a chance here, I think.
I mean, I definitely think so too, and I'm glad you bring up the maps as well, because, I mean, you did predict it in your preview as well that it was going to be Train, which really surprised me. We've hardly seen Train this tournament. We've seen it a few times, but I think that's very cool. So if it goes to all 3 maps, which well might, yeah, well, we're going to have to see how Train does, and you're right. JW is a really mean weapon to have on a map like Train. Right now we're on Dust 2. We're in the 5th round. And FNATIC have bought rifles once again. No AWP picked up on anybody here. It's all rifles. And NIP walking into the tunnels, but it seems like the standard Dust 2 setup that really...
Yeah, NIP are playing similar to how they were playing against their games, just slow, methodical. They don't want to take too many risks early on, although it does look like they are going to go out through the middle doors here with Forrest leading the way.
Yeah, they are. No smoke going up in C-Type. They're not really signaling to FNATIC that they're coming. There, the smoke goes up. Get right, and Exist picks up a kill, and it's going to be Freiburg with the second one on Flushka. Now Devilwalk and JW alone in a 2-on-5 situation. And this is not the round FNATIC were looking for. I mean, this is a big problem, because in this round, FNATIC were looking to maybe take back what they lost after having lost the second round, and now their economic situation is going to be a little bit hard to deal with.
It actually seemed like a problem to me that FNATIC spent quite a bit of money on their save rounds. So JW, for example, couldn't afford an op. That was by far his best weapon. Yeah. And a lot of them had about 4,300. That's just not enough money to get all your names and flashes and all that other equipment that counter-terrorists need that against a team like NIP. You need those counter flashes to be able to stop their attacks.
Well, round is over. They lose actually all their rifles as well, so they have nothing left. They have, well, about 3,000 on average on the team right now. There isn't enough to make any kind of buy. FNATIC, they're on the less favored side here. How many rounds do you think they need on the counter-terrorist side of Dust 2?
Well, we saw NIP actually drop an 11-4 lead against LGB Esports in the quarterfinals 2 days ago. So I think that's a good indication. I'm not sure how good FNATIC is on their T side, because I haven't seen many other matches this tournament. I've always been casting the other games that were simultaneously going on. But I think if they get 4 or more, they're definitely in the running if they get the terrorist side pissed around.
They have some distance to go still. I mean, they got the one round here, but they might be able to pick up some more. Pronax comes there and Exist. That might be all we see from FNATIC in this round. Obviously, with this USP, can't expect too much. But now, I mean, I'm waiting for FNATIC to pick up the AWP. And actually, the fact is that on this map, you could do the double AWP setup, and Schneider can actually pick up an AWP and use it as well to some effect.
He can for sure, and that's something we also saw some other teams do against NIP on this map. Just pick up ultimate. It's an adjustment for NIP. It's not something they're used to. Obviously, there's such a terrorist-like team on this map that they're expecting to get 12 rounds with a pistol. Yeah. Maybe they're okay with 11 without pistol. But if you're playing against a team like that, you don't really want to let them play the way they normally play. And just as you said that, FNATIC buys 2 obs and an auto sniper, and this is a curveball.
Yeah, it definitely is. This is a big investment. These rifles are expensive. If FNATIC just throw them away, it's going to come back to haunt them. But if it works, it could actually just stonewall NIP here. They could be shut down anywhere they go, and that's obviously what FNATIC are looking for here. The 7th round coming up, and well, the underdogs, they are, well, as you said, they're trying to throw a curveball here. This is going to work out or not. NIP, they're setting up towards long. They still got one in the tunnels, but the bomb is over there, and that's always a big tell. So what kind of play do you think they're going for here?
They're going to be taking over the long A area with 3 people. Flusha is defending there. Hits his first shot.
Nice. The second one. Freiburg will take him down. 1-1 trade. And actually, Flusha probably maybe should have had some backup in a guy with the rifle down there. As soon as you get the shot, as soon as you miss a shot down on long, you probably will die. Now the smokes are going to go off, so they can... Oh, he could have actually got the second kill there, but Exist will take him down. We're back to a 3-on-3 situation, but now JW is in effect. He gets the first kill, picks up the second, and FNATIC win the round. And there's the power of that young Swede, the master AWP.
That was a very smart play by FNATIC. I think that was Pronax's fault, because he was the first guy running out of counter-terror spawn. They knew Get Right, I believe, was on top of Catwalk. He was going to flank them any second. So had FNATIC just stayed there by spawn ramp, they would have inevitably died, all of them. It was just a matter of time. And what a just smart play by JW, just jumping out through those smokes. Hits 2 good op shots, and that's around in the move for FNATIC.
Yeah, very, very cool. Now they get forced on the AWP, and he actually picks up the kill on Schneider, but JW is right there to bring it back. And I mean, in the past, JW has won very many games for FNATIC, and maybe he could do it once again here. We got a 1-for-1 trade going on, so the early lead that NIP got in this round, they kind of equalized right afterwards.
And JW has been the top player so far for this entire tournament. The top 2, Flusha. They have the 3 best players statistically in the tournament. Get Right and Forrest rounding up top 10.
That is something right there, isn't it? I mean, that is, and now if they could just, so that means if they continue the trend that they set earlier in the tournament in this grand finals, maybe there is a chance. Devilwalk shuts down the push on short for a little while. But Get Right, they want to push through here. Devilwalk is going to go down. Nice shot from Get Right. They keep going. Pronax defends. Forest with the AWP shot. We're back to a 2-on-2 situation. And Forest get this kill. The A-bomb side of the room, and there it is. Double coming in for Forest. Now Pronax is very close by, but I think they realize.
Yeah, I think they know Pronax is coming from Catwalk. They get the bomb. 2 versus 1. NIP's 2 superstars alive.
Very good hand. There's the kid on Pronax, but he's going to have to do a lot. The leader here of FNATIC, if he does this 1-on-2, that could be a very big round, and NIP would have to really rethink how to set this up. They have a fire in there. It is Forest. Picks up the triple kill, and that is very impressive indeed. Was that 3 or 4 kills?
It was a quad kill, actually.
Oh, wow.
So a big round by Forest, who, as we've said, I think he's actually been a better player throughout this tournament overall than Get Right. And like Thorin has said countless times in the studio during this tournament, it's actually been Forest as of late who's been picking up the slack, while Get Right has been in a bit of a slump. And of course, when we say slump, that just means he's been maybe the 5th best player in the world instead of the #1.
Only the 5th best player. Well,
yeah.
The problem is, maybe NIP do need him to be higher than that right now. Is FNATIC are going to play this well? My question is, though, on that push there, NIP, they actually pushed Get Right up, you know, in front of that push up on short, but he's more in the back, you know, doing the back player. Well,
yeah.
The problem is, from NIP doing that kind of push.
I actually think on that round, it was just an adjustment. Usually when NIP attacks A, it's usually, I believe, Spider going up Catwalk, the rest of them going up long, and then Get Right is usually lurking in the middle area. But obviously, Thorin talked about domestic matchups. I think FNATIC knows NIP so well that Get Right really can't lurk the way he normally does, because otherwise FNATIC would just really counter him individually, because they know the spots he likes to be in. So it's actually better probably for them to sort of mix it up a little bit, so they can't always know where Get Right is hiding.
Yes, they're playing another Swedish team, and that means they have to adjust accordingly. That does make a lot of sense. Now we've got a 2-for-7 scoreline. We're in the 10th round. FNATIC, I mean, this is still anybody's game. A few rounds here.
It's very much anyone's game.
We'll see how they do. They got the triple setup down. Setup down on long early on to anticipate any kind of rush. When that doesn't happen, they go back to a different setup.
Yep. And currently NIP just running their slow default. They're taking over the area slowly. They're trying to find out what exactly it is FNATIC are doing, and if they have any odd setup going on, or if they're just playing the default spots. And then once they figure that out, they're going to set up their attack. Yeah, and this mid control obviously is very important for NIP because it allows them to do just a number of different things. And what they choose in the end is to push up Catwalk. But are they going to go all the way? I mean, because they still have some people down middle, we're not entirely sure yet. We're about to find out here. Here comes the flashes and smokes. It's either going to be a fake or they're actually going to go there. Oh, are they going to jump down? Yeah, they smoke it up so they can jump down in the middle of the slope. Gets the one. Flusher picks up. It's a 2-for-2 right now. And let's see. Flusher is still alive, trying to get another one. There's their bomb drop, so now they definitely know. And Flusher gets it from us. Gets the Snyder picking up that kill, and Get Right is now alone. He's trying to land the shot, but he's very low on health as well. And FNATIC should just calm down for a second here and just, you know, play this. They got the advantage. They Get Right with a smart move in this 1v2. He's completely changed the direction he's going. FNATIC will probably expect him to be coming through long now. And he could really surprise the FNATIC players here. Oh, is he going to turn around at the right time, though? They're not checking it. He's going to flash up and run around. Now we know where he is, and he gets shot in the back by Flusher. He was actually going out to check, so what was initially a great plan from Get Right, well, I mean, I'm not sure if FNATIC meant to counter it that way, but it worked out in their favor. Yeah, I mean, it was a good plan, but even a good plan when you have 20 health can be countered. Yeah. There's only so much you can do. It was a good try, but Flush's triple kill just really shot NIP down that round. We were talking a little bit earlier in this half about how many rounds FNATIC were needed. You said maybe 4, maybe 5. Right now they're up to 3, so this is actually a decent start for FNATIC. I mean, it's a good start for FNATIC. I mean, they're 4 rounds behind, which seems like a lot, but actually it isn't. And they also have the rifles. There's 1 match 7 on JW, so the only really downside here is that they can't afford the AWP on him right now. If they could, FNATIC would be in a much more solid situation, of course. Yeah, and also, obviously, we take a look at the money here. NIP at about 8,000 to 10,000 per player on average. FNATIC less than $1,000. Yeah, great. So obviously, money situation for these teams is completely different as of right now. And that's a big problem as well, because now FNATIC winning a round like this means the consecutive round loss bonus to get reset. If NIP come back to win this next round, FNATIC will get only $1,400 for losing, and that's too little. It means they will have to eco, well, at least once. most likely twice, because they will want to get that off in JW's hands, potentially also flushes. And maybe that auto sniper, we'll see.
Yeah. A little bit of a slow round coming in from NIP, but now they make the move, jumping down into CT spawn. Freiburg gets the kill, but one trade. There's Exist with a headshot onto JW. Pushing into the and taking control of the B bomb site. And through the door, they take down Sniper. Fletcher comes in and keeps spraying, but he doesn't get the kill. And 2-on-4,
yeah, they're not going to be able to take over this site. NIP are set up there well. Even though a lot of their players are actually low on health, so is Flusha. So FNATIC are doing making the right choice here, falling back to the A-bomb site, trying to save these weapons for the next round. Like you said, they're going to be very low on money. They're still going to have to save, but there's always a possibility that with 5 people alive next round and those 2 weapons, they might be able to make something happen.
I mean, how many times have we seen on Dust 2 a retake for the B-bomb side fail, even when there are equal numbers? So
a ton.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened so often. So down, it becomes nearly impossible.
It basically is, unless the other team just really screws up. So, and I mean, you really don't want to count on NIP making that kind of mistakes. They have way too much routine for you to count on them to make that. Obviously, sometimes you have to go for them, because sometimes you just have to. Sometimes the other team has 14 rounds, sometimes 15.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, occasionally you can maybe try and get some shots through the door, hope for a lucky headshot, and then you can take it back. But there wasn't any kind of that action going on from FNATIC. Now the 12th round is coming up. The round lead now, 5 rounds for NIP. FNATIC, they saved the 2 AKs here. And what I see a lot of teams make a mistake in this particular situation is they save the 2 AKs in the first round, and then the round after, where they really just need to save them once more, they end up throwing them away. So what can FNATIC do here to make sure that they at least save the AKs, if not win the round?
Well, it's actually even if you just stack one site and NIP goes the other way, they may still come back to chase them. JW gets a kill and Flusha gets another one. It's a 3v3 all of a sudden. I mean, there's no easy way to do that. Just really quickly.
All right, well, we'll have to see. There's more art than science in this. JW will go down. Had a battle going on with Forrest and could have probably got that headshot, but it goes the other way. But now Flusha and Schneider are still left, and there's the AK and the body and head armor on Flusha. If he could find this 1 kill here, that would be huge. That would be back to everyone who's really trying. Hasn't come up any longer yet. He keeps spraying, and there's the kill. Get right going down. 2-on-2 situation. Should they go for it?
They probably should. Flusha has a kit, so even though it's not really a favorable round, I probably would go for it. Just because CT side Dust 2 is such a hard side, you don't want to just give up 2v2s without trying.
Yeah, and obviously that kid makes a big difference. That buys them the time they might need. Now, Schneider's also picked up an AK, and that's a big deal. Both NIP players down on long, and they have to plant for that position as well. Flusha comes in, gets the kill on Forrest, and now it's all on Freiburg.
The kid. So
one-on-one situation, and the bomb is ticking away. Flusha has to do this, but he has no time.
Even though it's not really a favorable round, I probably would go for it. Just because CT side Dust 2 is such a hard side, I mean, you don't want to just give up.
Time management there, and also just NIP playing the clock against FNATIC.
Yeah, NIP just played that 2v2 situation in a very smart fashion. They didn't overextend, they didn't peek, they knew the clock was playing to their favor. Freiburg with the smart move there at the end to delay the clock as much as possible. A very good round by FNATIC, a good effort considering they only had 2 guns.
Absolutely.
Still a round for NIP.
Yeah, now they're going to go for something different here. They're boosting Flusha up on short. I'm noticing again, there's no AWP on FNATIC. Hopefully that's not going to be a problem because they'd like to pick up that 4th round at the very least. Right now, they are falling behind slowly.
That they are. NIP are up by 6 rounds. Well en route to those 12 rounds that I said they probably would like to have this half. But FNATIC still have a chance to get a couple of rounds on the board, give them a little more room to work with after they change to the easier terrorist side.
Well, we'll have to see here. NIP are doing exactly what they've done earlier, taking mid control slowly and then deciding on where to go from there. FNATIC not giving them a target, but in fact, Schneider pushing up will take down Get Right, and that is obviously a big deal. Picks up the AK as well, and he will fall back, so you have the man advantage. If you play defensively, keep trying your luck.
Well, that answers your question. You no longer have the man advantage, and now NIP is taking over the A-bomb site, and we'll see what JW can do here.
Oh yeah, he's going to have to fall back. He's very exposed down on long, so he makes a run for it down here, and there will be someone flanking. If he's not careful, he might just go down. And they'll normally be Get Right, but it is actually Baron. Exist and Freiburg coming in with kills. Nothing but headshots, and it's going to be Devilwalk to go down now. JW, who initially sort of took up this position to wait for backup, now, well, it's not going to arrive.
Yeah, the backup will not be coming. So, good luck JW, you're being chased down. Fifari opens that door. And Exist takes him out. Triple kill for the NIP captain there that round.
Yeah.
Freiberg chimes in with 2 of his own. NIP up 10-3, and FNATIC are going to be forced to save once more.
That's so unfortunate because Schneider put in some real work that early in that round to get that kill. And I mean, once you have that man advantage, that immediately, I mean, those entry frags really make a big difference in every round, whether you're on the counter-terrorist or terrorist side. So they had a
Yeah, that was a very smart move actually by Schneider. He clearly knows how GetRight likes to play there, and he just peeked it, killed GetRight. The problem is, his teammate instantly got traded, and they were down to a 4v4, so they actually didn't even have time to rotate or make any adjustments based on that one frag.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's really hard right now. They're 7 rounds behind. 5 rounds recovering. It's an eco round for FNATIC. Lurpers, what kind of strategy? I mean, we saw Schneider throw in a little bit of a twist there by pushing up. Is there anything else, do you think, if FNATIC sort of back of the trick so they can throw it against NIP to get maybe finally?
The elephant rifles. They need the elephant rifles.
They shot someone down. I mean, they had the double up set up with the auto sniper earlier, and I mean, they did win some rounds, but they're throwing a lot of rifles away as well. And I think they only came out of that round with maybe 1 AWP attack.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's an expensive way to play, but it can also be a very effective way to play. So I like the thought of FNATIC taking a little bit of risk. Now we see at least JW with the op, so that looks good for them.
Willing to buy this AWP at the expense of having no head armor and also having no grenades. Now, no head armor is not a big deal when you're on the counter-terrorist side. If you get shot in the face by an AK, you know, you're going to die anyway. Yeah. Buy some auto snipers to shoot down the middle. They do a lot of damage on to Pronax, but they don't get any kills yet. And now the sandwich is coming in into the top. Pronax is going to push up. He does go down, and GetRight also. Well, Forrest getting a kill there on Flusher. Not the start that FNATIC were looking for. It is really looking tough. We are in the 15th round, the last one of the first half, and at the moment it is NIP maybe making into those 12 rounds that you.
Yeah, looking very good for NIP. I mean, they lost the pistol round. They've already racked up 7 rounds. It's a very strong half.
They have full play. I mean, JW got the kill and he actually pushed out of the long doors. Now he's going to fall back again. It's a 2-on-3 situation. He's meeting NIP up in the A bomb site. This could be JW's time to shine once again. He's getting smoked off and they're trying to plant the bomb. NIP are reading the situation really well and they think they spotted JW, but he does go down to Freiberg's headshot and Schneider dies, and it's going to be 12-3. So that was indeed what they were looking for, and they get what they came for.
Smart place by JW there, like you said. Good rotation, nice pickup on Fiflaren outside the long A doors. But you know what? If Forrest is just going to hit 3 headshots like that, there's very little you can do to counter that. And NIP were simply the superior team here in the first half. That was expected. It is a much easier map on the terrorist side. Now we're going to see if FNATIC can match them and potentially even overcome them. I would say they are an LGB took 12 rounds on FNATIC, NIP, excuse me. So anything is still possible for sure.
I think it's perfectly possible, but there is just one premise that needs to be fulfilled before they can even start, you know, getting to that spot, and that's the pistol round. So if you're FNATIC right now, 100% of your energy, all your focus is going to be on winning the pistol round. How do you do that? I mean, there is obviously no way to make sure. But if you had to do it, would you go for a standard type push, or would you go for something really, truly crazy to just try and catch them off guard by surprise?
Well, I don't actually think NIP is a team that likes to anti-strat other teams too much. So if I were FNATIC, I would probably just stick to my own guns. I wouldn't try to mix things up too much in the biggest match of my career. It seems easier to just do what I'm comfortable doing and what I feel confident in. So if I were FNATIC, I would just stick to my own guns and I would do what I'm good at, and I would stick to that, and then we're just going to have to find out if that's good enough.
I mean, I actually spoke to some of the NIP players when I was at the house not too long ago, and we're talking about the whole problem they had with Very Games in the past. And I think it was actually GetRight who told me what they ended up doing a lot was trying to, once they started losing to Very Games, they tried to play Very Games' style of game, and that didn't really work out for them, so they forgot how to play their own game. Do you think there's a chance that FNATIC, I mean, you kind of hinted at it here, do you think FNATIC could end up playing NIP's game instead of their own? And how do they prevent themselves from doing that?
I actually don't think that's a problem for them so much, because NIP actually plays a very loose style that is really hard to replicate, because you need people like Forrest and GetRight for that to be effective. And obviously JW is such a dominant offer. FNATIC's playing style has to include him in a way that NIP's playing style simply couldn't cater to.
Well, we'll have to see how it goes. Here it comes down to the pistol round, the second half here in the grand finals. $100,000 on the line, and FNATIC, they need this pistol round, and they're going to go up short aggressively. The Glock train is the answer that they are looking for, and we'll see. Flusher kind of in front as well. They get the bomb in front. They're really signaling here. Flower is going to take down Pronax, and I think he was actually covering from behind. He goes down immediately, and that could be a big problem, because now they've got short, they also got long, and FNATIC are locked in place in the bomb site. Get right leading the charge. Planted. There's a kill they can do this. Schneider and JW, great headshots coming in. A great return kill, and there's one more for Schneider. Russia with another kill, and it's going to be Exist alone in a 1-on-3. Exactly what FNATIC were hoping for. They get the bomb side, they get the bomb, they manage to defend it, and there is a one tap from Flusher. That is the start that they needed.
That is exactly the start that they needed, and despite going down to 4v5 and Pronax got flanked by the two NIP players coming through long, they just recovered so quickly and set up so well for that retake that NIP really just stood no chance. Very good play by FNATIC.
And Pronax's position in this push that FNATIC were doing, you could imagine that once he goes down, they lose a good deal of mid-control. He was obviously meant to try and prevent people from easily reinforcing the bomb site. So it's actually pretty impressive that they won that round when Pronax died so quickly.
Yeah, it definitely is, but that just goes to show the kind of power that is packing FNATIC as well.
Yeah.
We always talk about people like Forrest and Get Right, but there's some very skilled players wearing black and orange here.